Just not exciting.
So, what do you do for fun now? You still train? You still look fit as shit, Mr. Frye. Fit as shit.
Thanks.
So, you still in the gym, fucking strangling fools, or what's your? Do you train?
Every once in a while I get in there. Yeah, not a whole hell, not like I'd like to. Right now, just play in the weight room, down there and look at the women.
So that is more your thing now that you're divorced. You're more of just checking out chicks and stuff. Because I remember we're going to get you at Alice Mania, hopefully, and you said make sure you have some beer and some women with some giant tits.
That's it, partner.
So you like giant tits?
No, I like hard ass, hard, firm legs. I like to see nice knees. I'm a leg man.
Oh, okay.
Can't argue with a nice pair of tits.
But a nice pair of tits. They don't have to be out of control size.
No, the thing is, you can always buy tits. You can't buy legs or ass.
Good point. Good point. Not yet, anyway. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to fucking insert those things as well.
Get after it, I'm sure.
So, because people that don't know who Don Frye is, if you haven't followed the mixed martial arts world, to me, we've talked about older skateboarders, what they used to do. To me, the more similar version would be hockey players a long time ago used to not wear helmets, and when they refer to other hockey players of today, they would be more technical and more. They have. They're the only people in the world that can call hockey players of today pussies. And Don Frye is a breed of man who is one of the only people alive today that could call a UFC fighter today a pussy. Everybody else that would say that, I'd be like, really, dude? Are you fucking sure about that? Don Frye can say this because to me, Don, I don't know if you know this, but your fight, the one fight in particular in Pride where it was just grab the back of the head and smash each other in the face.
Yoshihiro Takayama son, yeah. You need to learn that name. If you're going to say that's such a great fight, learn the guy's name.
He doesn't exist to me. Only you exist in that fight. I don't.
Well, it's like saying, Thriller in Manila, Joe Frazier versus, what's the other guy's name?
Okay, no, you're right. I'm not very good with Japanese names. I don't know why.
Yoshihiro Takayama.
Yoshihiro
there
Takayama.
he is. Asshole.
Well, it's just a matter of respect for the guy.
You do have to have a lot of respect for him in the end because he was agreeing to fight in that style back with you, correct?
Right.
Was there bad blood before this? Because I noticed when you were staring at each other, it seemed like you were pissed at him, and vice versa.
No, it was supposed to be my rematch against Coleman. So I was trained. I was trained spot on, and then Coleman got hurt, and they slipped him in there.
So, and were you? Is that why you were angry? Because you'd had a replacement, and you were like, now I've got this giant asshole instead of Coleman.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's fighting somebody who's my size, and now I got to look up, get a ladder, and still look up.
He was a giant man with a giant head.
Yeah.
Which usually tells me
made
that
it easy though. Made it an easy target, right?
Right. Okay. Made it easy target, but a target that is hard to get into the brain to make this person shut off. I mean, when a person's head is that big. Did you think to yourself, man, how am I going to knock this guy out?
Throughout the fight, I was wondering what the hell was holding this guy up. Yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody get punched in the head that many times.
He was a man, God bless him. He was a man.
And
nobody else would have stood there and taken that.
Right, and then were you getting tired from punching him in the face?
Bet your sweet ass I was getting tired.
And and then at one point were you thinking like, I'm getting tired of punching him in the face? He's also, just so everyone knows, Don Frye's not blocking any of how do you say his name? Takayama's punches either.
No,
so he's getting
everyone. I blocked everyone in my face.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Spot on. No, they were right on the button.
He didn't miss a lick, did he?
No, you both didn't. But you had faster punches, and he started to slow down. But they were still punches to the face. Did you think at one point? Because I believe that there's a flurry there, bang, 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 and then it's going for so long that you got to think, is he going to stop? Should I change my game plan in any way?
Partner,
besides an uppercut, because I believe that a couple of times you were like, I'll throw an uppercut, see if that surprises him. I mean, look at that. It's insane.
I went in there, had a bad back and a bad shoulder, and that's all I could bring to the game. I couldn't rotate my shoulder, and throw a proper punch. So this is all I had, and I couldn't rotate my hips. So that's all I had.
Is this a wrestling thing? Because I've noticed that now MMA fighters will, if they're hurt or even if they're not hurt, they will not grind themselves. The only person that can have that on, and I don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want. Do you train, like you've got back problems? You still have back problems, right?
Yeah.
You're getting surgery soon, correct?
Yeah, I hope so, Werner. I hope so.
So you've always had to deal with this.
Only for about 12, 13 years.
So your shoulder and your back is hurt, and you're fighting a person. I mean, look what you did to his face. I can't believe he's still there.
He was ugly when he walked in the ring.
Touche. Have you always? I mean, when were you not hurt? What would you say in your fighting career was the time where Don Frye was not injured and at his ultimate level?
When I did the UFC in '96, that was the only year I wasn't hurt, except for on UFC 10, I woke up that morning sick. I wasn't hurt, but I was sick. But yeah, '96 was the only time I was healthy.
1 year.
1 year.
And obviously, you're not the kind of person that all the other years where you're hurt, you're telling anybody that you're hurt, correct?
Hell no, you don't want to tell anybody you're hurt. I mean, the best I was after '96 was probably 75%.
Could you healed, stopped and healed, or is that not an option?
You didn't get an option back then, I mean, pride, you're a commodity, I mean, you're just like a engine part, they just get another one,
That's how you felt?
Yeah, you're completely replaceable.
So did they more or less say that to you?
No, but you knew it. Everybody knew it. And Pride was an amazing event. Every show was an event. It wasn't just a show. It was an event. It was the biggest gala you ever seen in your life. People were dressed to the nines, and some people dressed, in T-shirts, but some people were dressed in gowns and suits. And, I mean, it was the greatest thing that they had going right there.
Do you think it was more also on your behalf that you would not miss a year because of what an exciting thing it was to be in that stadium?
Probably, I mean, yeah, you did not. We fought every 3 months, so it gave you enough time to feel better. It takes 2 weeks to recover if you don't get hurt. If you do get hurt, then it could take months, 2 months, but what have you, then you gotta get back into the training regimen. But it was who else gets to brag about headlining the Pride show? There's only a few of us on the planet.
Right. I feel like, did you train, when you say you're training for Coleman and stuff, did you have a different game plan for other fighters? Did you use, this guy's going to have more of a wrestling thing. I'm going to try and defense and work on my takedown defense, or is it just always, I'm a fucking fighter, and if I'm not going to fight here, I'm going to punch somebody in the head in the bar? Are you a punch someone in the head at the bar guy?
No, I don't give a shit about anybody at the bar. I'm looking for girls.
So because you seem, when I watched you in Pride, you seem like a violent man. That's my girlfriend, Don. So just take it easy,
sweetie pie. How you doing? When he leaves, we come over and sit on my lap.
You're more than welcome to do it. I don't care. So you're not a guy that can be provoked in a bar. What about before you became a professional fighter? Were you that kind of guy?
No, I was always busy. I was busy working, so I'd work sun up, sun down, and I was tired at the end of the day. I just wanted to pet my dog and kiss my horse and go to bed.
What work is this?
I wrestled in college, and then I did a year and a half pro boxing, and then I got out of sports altogether, and I was a fireman. On my days off, I would shoe horses. So I was working every day, and then I was in a bad marriage, so I started taking up judo, and I did judo, did a bunch of judo events, tournaments, and then I started doing little fights throughout the country and called up. I saw Severin on the UFC.
When you you say fights around the country, what kind of fights were these?
Well, everybody, when did UFC start? 93?
Yeah. So you're saying there was sort of bare knuckle fighting, cage fighting?
Yeah. It was, everybody had to put on their little UFC fight. If anybody tells you they were a bare knuckle cage fighter, pit fighter, any of that nonsense, they're full of shit. If they say that it happened before 93, because nobody knew this stuff existed before 93, before Art Davies and the Gracies brought it here. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, no, nobody ever did it. Nobody freaking had a hole in their backyard and jumped in a pit. And, it's a bunch of nonsense.
So you weren't a street fighter at all?
No, you get drunk at a bar and have a fight every now and then, sure.
Every now and then, but not a lot?
No, I didn't start it.
Okay, now I'm starting to get the truth out of here. Every now and then, somebody look at you sideways, you'll be like, look, fuckhead. And honestly, if you're going to fight Don Frye before you saw him in Pride, I have even before I started training mixed martial arts, I got a pretty good eye on who's tough and who isn't. And if I'm drunk at the bar and he's like, "Listen, partner," I'll be like, "You know what, dude? It's not fucking worth it. I agree. I am a pussy. See you later." Because I
Not a
can
bunch of
read
smart
it.
people out there, though.
Right, which
There's
meant
not. Especially after they've had a few drinks, they get 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
right. So then every now and then that would, because I would feel, I know you didn't, proper boxing. Like to me, I've had boxing fights. It's organized, and other events, wrestling, it's organized. And then you're saying you did judo. It's fucking organized. In a bar, it's not organized. It's not. It barely has anything to do with any of that.
Right. And it doesn't last that long anyway.
Right. There's definitely no cardio involved. There's only a couple of shots. Whoever gets hit first is usually the winner, depending on how big you are.
They fall in the beer, or else somebody, the bouncer comes along, grabs you by the arms, or tases you from behind, or whatever.
So I feel like your mental toughness must have been. You must have known at a young age that it was there to be in these first UFC underground, whatever you want to call it, cage fights. I'm feeling like getting thrown into a cage fight, there's less ability from what I saw from the first cage fights. I didn't see too many people look. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to insult you. I didn't see that you were that much of a fucking boxer. You look like a fucking street fighter in the first fight.
I didn't need that. I didn't need to, that's the whole thing. Boxing's a skill. It's a different technique.
Yeah.
It's a stand-up fight. Where the only target is from the belt up,
right,
and this half of the forward half of the body. Okay, that's your target.
Yeah.
So you move in a circle. In MMA or NHB, however you want to call it, you attack the whole body.
Right.
You have takedowns, you have kicks. So the whole structure of it's different, and the whole movement, the whole technique is completely different than boxing. Just like wrestling, you would bend down, you get down there, and your hands would be up, you'd be here, you get kicked in the head if you do that now, right? Or kneed or something like that.
Yeah.
So you've got to change every sport. You got to change it to fit the dynamics of the MMA.
Do you remember your first fight in a cage?
Hell, when was my first fight? I think the first fight was the UFC fight. Yeah, all the rest we did on mats, in a big gym, empty gym, or big empty room, be on a mat.
So what's the game plan for Don Frye's first fight in the UFC with your wrestling pedigree and boxing pedigree? Are you like creating a mixed martial artist right there and then? Like, I'm going to sit down a little bit but not dip my head forward because I got to watch out now because there's knees and kicks, but I'm not going to stand like a full boxer because I can't expose my front leg for kicks. Like, did you think about any of that?
Yeah, you work all that out in practice. Like I said, I had the judo skills. Basically, if you want to break something down, I could be completely wrong, but I'm looking at wrestling as pushing. Judo is pulling.
Right.
So, that's the basic fundamentals of it.
Okay.
And then boxing, you have the boxing. So you work in a circle. You come in, you come out, you dance to the left, to the right. The same thing with wrestling. But you have to adapt everything. You tweak it so you don't get hurt. You don't get kicked in the knee or something like that.
But that did happen.
Oh, of course it happened. Well, look at, when Gilbert Ival made my comeback in 2001. God bless him. I had a torn adductor. All he had to do was move and kick me or move and jab me to kill me because I couldn't move sideways. But he'd come to fight, so great for me. God bless him.
If I'm not mistaken, your first UFC fight didn't last very long.
No.
You actually set a record for the fastest knockout that stood for a while.
Stood for a while, right.
8 seconds.
8 seconds.
How big was the guy?
4 something. Yeah, 410, 420, 440. I don't know.
Time.
We are out of time. Don Frye, it's an honor to have you on the show. It's an honor to meet you face to face. Your fights, I think the influence that you've given all the rest of the fighters, the thing that people like the most about fighting today, that specific thing that you brought to the table, I believe that is the thing that brings the masses to mixed martial arts. I'm not disrespecting the ground game, not disrespecting people that are better at moving out of the way and all that stuff, but a true warrior and has created every other warrior in MMA today. You are the ground. You started this shit, dude. And as I said, fucking awesome to have you here, dude. A lot of respect for you.
Well, thanks, but we want to thank the men and women of the military.
I do. Oh shit! I didn't do my 22 push-ups. I do 22 push-ups every day for the troops because there's 20. It's gone down to 20, but 20 soldiers commit suicide in this country every day.
Right.
So I actually do 22 push-ups. I'm going to do my 22 push-ups after when I leave, because I do have to leave and we have to go. If anyone wants to call for the on-demand shit, they can do that, 855-LS41. And in the meantime, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the fights and don't die.